Good afternoon and welcome. Welcome indeed, yes, to a Monday edition of the Mark Moses Show podcast, as we're always broadcasting live from the Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Take back control of your life. Call them today, 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Also want to give a shout out to Chumley's Depot in downtown Melbourne, where friends meet, bringing good food, good beer, and good people together. And I know coming up Tuesday, they got karaoke. Wednesday is comedy night. And Walk On Sports Bistreaux right there in Vieira, home of the $5 Tito's and $4 22-ounce Busch Lights. All day, every day at Walk Ons in Vieira. Yes, indeed. Welcome to a Monday. I had a very, very nice weekend. I really did. I sat around. It was extremely hot outside. And I watched, Jurassic World Rebirth. I watched Fantastic Four, whatever that movie's called. I watched Happy Gilmore 2. And then I watched some movie last night with John Hamm on Peacock called Maggie Moore's, a detective movie. 4 movies. That's what I did this past weekend. 4 of them. The best one, I think, was Fantastic Four. I went to, because I tried to switch it up. I said, I'm going to go to a new theater. So, I'll go to West Melbourne, Palm Bay, Vieira, Melbourne. No. I'm going to switch it up, my friend. So you know what I did? I went over the bridge. I went to Satellite Beach, and I went to whatever movie theater that is. That's right. It was 105 degrees outside, and I went to the movies, and I had a great time. I really did. And I feel like the bar is so low for movies now that when I saw Fantastic Four, just like when I saw Superman 2 weeks ago, I'm kind of like, yeah, all right, this is pretty good. Like, they're not great movies, but you're just at the point of, this is all right. It's not awful. It's not terrible. And I love people come up to, is it woke? Is it got a message? No, it's just a movie. I enjoyed it. I did. And my number one thing was, he better say it's clobbering time. Don't worry. Ben Grimm, the Thing, he says it's clobbering time. I love it. Like, that movie is just like so much better than the movies with Jessica Alba and whatever that Roger Corman one is from the 90s that never got released. And that one with Michael B. Jordan from a couple years ago. Man, Hollywood has butchered Fantastic Four. This one was okay. It really was. And Jurassic World was, oh man, like if I'm giving praise to Fantastic Four, that one, that Jurassic Park, oh man, stop going to these islands. Stop it. Stop going. Send a drone. No, we have to go. Guess what? The plan's not going to go the way you thought it would be. That would be like you have a buddy, hey, I'm going to the zoo on Saturday. All right. We're jumping in the tiger cage. Why? We got to get one of the paws. I don't know. Stop going there. Stop going in the cages and stop going to these Jurassic Park worlds. Stop it. Stop going. No, we have to keep going. I think that might be the worst movie of the year. I think I'm going to call it right now. I think my favorite movie so far was F1 with Brad Pitt. That Jurassic World was god-awful. And the other one is, people are asking me, what'd you think of Happy Gilmore 2? A sports movie. I love the first one. I love it. I know it's a 90s film. It was 30 years ago. I love it. I love Happy. I love Shooter McGavin. Like, I quote that movie all the time. Great sports movie. This thing was, how do I do this? It was 2 hours of nonstop cameos and nostalgia. And essentially the cameos of people who can't act. I mean, it's nonstop. 2 hours. I lost count how many cameos there were. And there are scenes in the movie where it will go back and show you clips of the first one. So in case you don't know what's going on or your brain's dead, hey, remember that guy? Well, here's the updated version of it. Oh, man. Look, I enjoyed it. I turned my brain off, but we did not need this movie. We did not. If you want to watch it, it makes you happy, go ahead. I can't review it. I can't. There's so many people in it that have no business being in the movie. I'm not even going to give it a score. I'm not a good, bad. No, I'm not doing it. I wanted like the plot to Cobra Kai, where you have the Karate Kid movies, and then the The Cobra Kai show is Johnny Lawrence, where it's from his perspective. That's what I wanted with this film. I wanted a Shooter McGavin story. Shooter's the man, and he deserves to have his own movie. Nope, not going to do it. We had to have Adam Sandler's daughters in the movie more than Shooter McGavin. Ridiculous. I know that guy is a real name, Christopher or whatever. No, you're Shooter McGavin. That's right. So I'm bringing this up for the first 5 minutes where I just spent the weekend watching movies because there's no sports. There's none. I know you got baseball, you got MLS soccer, you got the WNBA. No. I feel like sports, and I love all those sports, but I feel like sports has been boring. And I get it's the dog days of summer, but sports have been boring since the NBA and Stanley Cup finals. They really have. And thank the sports gods that training camp is back for football. I know. It is, again, over 100 degrees outside, and today is the hottest day of the year. But at least we got camp back. We have high school here on the coast. All teams have started camp today. If it's at 7 in the morning or it's after school today, I don't know, depending on the school. We have like 17 different schools that go at it. They're starting today. UCF football, right in your backyard, 45 minutes from here. They started camp today. They're inside in an indoor practice facility. Thank you, taxpayer money. But they're playing. They are playing some football. Well, kind of. They're there. Gators are going to start on Wednesday. So this week will be Florida State, Miami, all around the state. High school, college, yes, thumbs up. And the NFL, I mean, we have training camps in full swing, and I believe, I think we're going to have a Hall of Fame game coming up later this week because today is, what do we got? Today's the 28th. August is this weekend, my friend. That's right. I like it. I want to talk football. I want to talk sports. But it's been so boring lately, I had to start with my movie reviews. I really did. And again, that's what I got to do. So I want to go over this real quick. This is producer Mark talking. Okay. Here's what we got. Tomorrow, to talk more high school football and college, Alan Soderzinski is going to join us, Brevard Sports Network. Also, head football coaches at O'Galley High School, Chris Sands is going to join us, and Jeff Benucci is going to join us from Melbourne High School. So we're going to go around the county for high school football this week. Wednesday, Andrew Spivey, Gator Country, will preview more Gators. Eric Lopez, UCF, Black and Gold Banneret. He'll join us. We'll talk some Knights football on Wednesday. Tim Walters, Thursday. That's all I got for right now. We'll have more. Don't worry. Now, yesterday, while I was at Fantastic Four, Flame On, I know that Scott Frost talked. He did. I want to play 2 clips for you. I want to go over this real quick. And then from my good friend, Matt Murschel, Orlando Sentinel, who joins us all the time. I asked him, can I play these clips? And he said yes, which I like. So I'm going to play 2 of them. There's a little hum to the audio when he was filming. That's okay. We will break it down. Let's hear Scott Frost, new head football coach, kind of. Yes, his second time around the sun here at UCF. Here's his thoughts on fall camp.
Really want to thank Zach and Andrew and the boys for the work they've done to get the team looking like it does now. We look like a completely different team than we did in January. There's a lot of new faces, guys getting to know each other, but physically the team looks a lot different than it did 4 or 5 months ago, and the culture of the team feels a lot better than it did 4 or 5 months ago. So we've made a lot of strides. Looking forward to seeing how well we can compete with what we have. It's kind of cool. We're kind of starting at go. Almost a completely new team, not a lot of expectations, and I really like taking off from that place. I think our guys have a little bit of chip on their shoulder and are anxious to get to work so they can prove to people that they're better than what people are expecting, and that's going to be the challenge for us. It's not going to be easy in this league. There's a lot of parity in this league, a lot of good teams and good coaches, but looking forward to competing with this group.
So that is Scott Frost. That's the first clip I'm going to play from yesterday there at the Bounce House, doing that with the local media. I'm just going to say this flat out. I have covered UCF football, radio, TV, now here on this podcast. I have done it since 2013. This is the first year I can remember. And I have gone through, if you think about it, like 4 different head coaches. And it's funny, one was the same guy from before, Scott Frost, if that makes any sense. I have no expectations for this football team. None. I have expectations for Miami, Florida, Florida State, none for UCF. If they win 3 games, I wouldn't be shocked. If they win 6 or 7, wouldn't be shocked. If they won 10 games, I'd be shocked. But I have absolutely no expectations for this football team. None. And you look at where they were last year to now, where they're going to enter, year 3 in the Big 12? I don't know who the quarterback is. I can't tell you who's the star running back. Is the O-line okay? Who's going to insert quarterback X under center? Who's he going to throw to? There's so many question marks. You're like, Mark, aren't you supposed to have those answers? I don't have the answers, and I don't know if this football team has the answers right now. We won't know as I'm going over this schedule here. They are going to have, to start the year, they're going to play on Thursday night heading into Labor Day weekend. It's like August 28th, about a month from now. They're going to have Jacksonville State. Then they'll have NC-A&T. What? They should be 2-0. Then September 20th at home, they're going to have Bill Belichick and UNC. That is a real fact. I have no idea. Show me the quarterbacks. Give me something to work in. But I'm not kidding around. I have no expectations for this football team. None. And they went through spring practice. Now they're here at camp. And it's one of those things. Remember, his first year, Scott Frost, they went 6-7. Then they went 13-0. Then he left. He wasn't here very long the first time. You think your brain's like, oh, yeah, he was 4 or 5 years. No, that was Josh Heupel. All right, let's go to Frost one more time. Matt Murschel, the Orlando Sentinel, asked him about himself, about Scott Frost. Coming off Nebraska, what does he think about going into this season? Hold on. Can we get it? Mark's producer as well. Here we go.
Coached in college. Do you feel like this season you have something to prove? Not just maybe to people, but to yourself about it?
I think in my bad times, I feel like I have something to prove, yes. But this isn't about me. And one of my first messages to the team tonight will be football's what we do, and I want to be elite at it and be the best that we can be at it and get better every day, but football's not life. And I think sometimes when you make football the most important thing in your life, then you ride the highs and lows of that. It can wreck you individually and personally. And I want the guys to keep the most important things, and I think that makes you even better at football. So we're going to love it and have fun doing it and be the absolute best we can be. But I think if I said I had a lot to prove personally, that would be about me. And it's not about me. It's about this university and this team.
Coach, I know you don't have a lot of...
That's Matt Murschel. I'm going to cut this off. Let's get rid of this here. That's Matt Murschel, Orlando Sentinel. Appreciate him. Let me use that video. That was from the press conference yesterday with Scott Frost. Here are Frost's stats. I'm going to do this one more time. So first year again, 6-7, then 13-0, national champions. Then he goes to Nebraska. Here's the wins. 4 wins, then 5 wins, then 3 wins, then 3 wins, then 1 win in 22, then he got fired. Overall, he's 35-38, 31 losses at Nebraska. He only had 7 at UCF. I have beyond low expectations for this football team. I'm going to go to games. I like going. I told that to my dad the other day. We like going to the games. I'm excited to go. I have no expectations. I can't stress this enough. We're going to get Matt on. We'll get, like I said, Eric Lopez. We'll get Kyle Nash, Trey Strelko, all these guys that cover the team. They'll come out with me. We'll preview the season. But are they going to be UCF fast? Is it a run-oriented team? We have no idea. But the only positive I can say is at least, it'll be different than what we had last year with Gus Malzahn. There was a part of me, I was completely out on Gus. He moved on. He's the offensive coordinator there at Florida State now. We'll preview the Noles. We will here late July and August. But I'm happy it's something new. And I hope, Scott, he turns this program around. And it goes back to the number one point I constantly bring up with UCF football. They need their identity back. They need that swagger. They need this underdog feel where it's us against the world. They lost that. They need it back. And we're going to find out. That's going to be interesting. But yeah, they put the pads on. Hey, they're going at it. It's going on all throughout the state of Florida. Yes, I know it's super hot outside, but at least we get football back. Kind of. Now, this morning, as we're going to switch gears, let's go up to Jacksonville. I know Jaguars camp started. Gators going to start on Wednesday. This guy was at Jaguars camp, and I want his thoughts on, and so I talked with him this morning. Yes, John Frary, Sports Now, great friend of mine. Did he go to media days in Atlanta? What do you think? What do you think of Napier? Expectations for the fall. Let's hear from John Frary right now here on the Mark Moses Show, as we're talking all things football, getting ready for the season. Welcome back to the Mark Moses Show, and joining me right now here on a Monday to kick off the week and especially talk some fall football is my good friend John Frary up there in Jacksonville with his show Sports Now. John, how you doing today?
Doing great, Mark. You know, this time of year is always awesome to me because of anticipation. We've got football right around the corner. Jaguars training camp up here in Duval County, the Florida Gators report on Wednesday, and within about a month, we're going to be having actual games. It's an exciting time coming up.
Yeah, I believe the Hall of Fame game might be on Thursday because August is like later this week. So before we get to the NFL, I want to start with the Gators here with John Frary, and you do a great job covering the team. You were there in Atlanta about, 8 or 9 days ago when Billy Napier, Lagway are talking. What was that experience like for you?
I thought it was the most engaging Billy Napier's ever been to start with. Now, for him, because his personality's not the greatest when he talks to us, but I thought he was more open this year and not as scripted as he's been in past years. This was his fourth media days, and he met with us on July 16th, which will be 2 weeks from Wednesday, and he seemed quietly confident to me, Mark. He didn't go out and predict a number, but he said he likes his roster. They're deeper than they've been the entire time he's been the coach there. They can go 2-3 deep now, which when Billy Napier got this job back in 2022, Florida couldn't afford any injuries. You never want guys to get hurt, but you know in football that's going to happen. This year, I think in a couple of spots, they could have some injuries and still be okay. Now, the one caveat is going to be DJ Lagway that you brought up also, and I thought he was very engaging. He was adamant that he was ready to go because he was asked point blank about the arm, about are you able to throw, are you ready to go? He says he is. He didn't really go into details what happened, why he couldn't throw in the spring, which is still kind of a mystery, but he says he's ready to go. I'm kind of the belief, Mark, cautiously optimistic, but I want to see it, meaning let's get to August 30th and beyond and see how he looks. But that's the one area Florida can't afford an injury. If Lagway doesn't play, all bets are off on this team in my mind because they don't have an experienced backup behind him at quarterback. But if Lagway stays healthy, they've got 4 offensive linemen returning. Jake Slaughter came to media days, the starting center, who arguably could be the best offensive lineman in the Southeastern Conference this year. He could have gone NFL last year, but he elected to come back. Caleb Banks came, who's going to be an edge rusher and linebacker for the Gators, and he was pretty impressive too. So I think both lines of scrimmage are going to be a lot better for Florida. I think the skill positions, running back and wide receivers, are going to be good, but it's really all going to hinge on DJ Lagway, and is he as healthy as he expressed he was at media days a couple of weeks ago?
We're here with John Frary, Sports Now. I did not go there in Atlanta. I just kind of felt like I don't think I was going to get any access to anyone. I think there's too many people there. It's changed over the years. Do you feel like it was worth still going to media days?
I do, but I get where you're coming from. And a lot of the folks like yourself that normally go were not there this year. It was kind of weird. It was different, including long time, but that's because he passed away, unfortunately, Bob Holt. I don't know if a lot of your listeners are familiar with him. He was with the Arkansas Democrat Gazette, but he'd always ask the first question at media days, and they had an honorary badge and a seat for him. And that was kind of sad that he wasn't there. May he rest in peace. But I thought it was still worth going. However, they've made this harder for local media, Mark. I mean, moving it around, they don't have it in the same spot every year, which used to be Hoover. Putting it in places that are hard to commute in and out of, because getting into downtown Atlanta, as you know, that's no easy. I do miss the old days where there was more access and it was easier to get to the event. But I don't see that changing. I think it's only going to get bigger. They haven't announced where it's going to be next year, but New Orleans has been mentioned, so I would not be surprised if they get it, which is a place it's never been before.
Oh, okay. All right. And then I love New Orleans. I'm there. Okay. You got me. You sold me. All you have to say is New Orleans. What and where? I saw the voting for the SEC. Gators are like, what, 5 or 6? How did you vote for it?
The Gators wound up 6th in the voting. I voted them 4th. I think they're going to go 9-3 this year. I think this is the year we finally see a turn with Billy Napier. Because of the roster, as he touched on and I touched on a moment ago, and the depth, and I'm basing on DJ Lagway being there, of course, but I think this is the year they win some key games. I think they can contend with Georgia, possibly beat them here in Jacksonville, and pull off an upset on the road somewhere. Now, there's a 4-game stretch in this schedule that I think will tell us everything about Florida this year. They start out with Long Island University in South Florida. They're going to win those first 2, Mark. If not, then there is real trouble. After that, they are at LSU and at Miami. They have an open date, home against Texas, at Texas A&M. Those 4 games, to me, will tell you what kind of season they're going to have, meaning if they go 2-2, I think they can have a 9-3 year. They go anything under that, 1-3 or 0-4, I think this could be it for Coach Napier, because I think eventually you've got to be able to win some of those games. So that 4-game stretch from mid-September to mid-October, I think, is going to tell us a lot about what this 2025 Florida team's all about.
It's interesting you said at the top, Napier sounded confident. And it'll be interesting to see when he has his fall press conference for the Florida media. Do you feel like there'll be that confidence as well? Like, yeah, we are going to be good this year.
I think he will. Again, he's never going to give you a number, what he thinks they can win, but it just felt different this time to me, having been to all 4. Well, actually, I wasn't there last year. I've been to 3 out of 4 of his press conferences at SEC Media Days, and the other 2 I was at, he wasn't nearly as confident as this. Now, granted, that was his first and second year there, 22 and 23. They didn't have a lot of depth, and so he shouldn't have been as confident then. But, yeah, he did. It did feel different to me this time. Now, obviously, you got to prove it. Winning is believing, as they say, so he's got to start doing it on the field this year between the lines on Saturdays.
I know I keep asking you this, but I'm going to do it again. How big is that game, Texas at Florida, coming up in September or October, whenever the game is?
It's October 4th, and it's gigantic. It's the first time Texas has been to Gainesville since 1940. I wasn't even there back then, Mark, so I was not at that one. It's huge. With Arch Manning coming in, and speaking of media days, it was like you had a celebrity when Arch Manning came in, by the way. Everybody went over to the table where he was. But if Florida could beat Texas, the team that was voted to win the SEC, by the way, by the media, they got 96 first-place votes. yours truly didn't vote them to win, but the media overall did. And if Florida could beat them in the Swamp at home, I think that puts them back in the national stage and puts them in the playoff conversation, which is where they want to be. That's where this program eventually wants to get to, and they haven't been close in years, but I think if they beat Texas, they're going to be in that conversation. So that game is gigantic.
Does 9-3, is that good enough to make the playoff?
It depends. I think it depends on the national scope around Florida. With their schedule, it should be. Let me put it that way. But the committee has never put a 3-loss team in the playoff yet. Now, this is only the second year of the 12-team playoff, too. They got a lot of criticism last year, I think justly so, for putting Indiana and SMU in that playoff. Neither one of those teams, to me, should have been in. Indiana's non-conference schedule was horrible, and SMU's wasn't much better. So I think if Florida goes, let's say they go 9-3, and one of those 9 they beat Texas, which you just brought up, I think they're in myself.
Here's how I look at it. Oh, go on. What were you going to say?
No, I was just going to say, if they don't beat Texas and the 9's against somebody different, maybe not. But if they beat a team like Texas or Georgia with a 9-3, I think they're getting in.
I was just going to say, we were with John Frary, and I'm sorry if I cut you off there. I think you have to look at the resume, and then you have to look at a team. Could this team make a run in the playoff? Are they built with the horses and the depth to make it? Like if a Florida made it 9-3, hypothetically, we don't know. Look, they could go a 5-win season. Who knows? But I feel like if you're a Florida, you're an LSU, you win 9-3, you have a team that's built that can win multiple games. Indiana did not have that, and you clearly saw that in the opener against Notre Dame. How do you look at it when you're going to pick teams, John?
I look at it just the way you laid it out, that you have to look at it, can this team make a run and possibly win the national championship or at least get to the national championship game? And I think everybody knew when Indiana made it last year. And I know I'm picking on them, but they had no chance. I mean, I think, and then they got blown out by Notre Dame. And I think basically most felt the same way about SMU, who got blown out by Penn State. I think if you'd put South Carolina in there last year, who made a late run, Mississippi, even though Florida beat them in November, I think they fare better than those two teams I just mentioned did. So I think that's what the committee's got to look at. You've got to look at not the one-loss column only. You've got to look at the overall resume and the strength of schedule, because if the strength of schedule isn't going to get more impact on who gets in, then I think you're going to see Florida and all these SEC teams stop playing the Miamis out of conference or an Oregon or a stronger team. They're just going to, play like what Indiana did, play directional schools. And they're not going to bother with Power 4 conferences from other conferences. So I think strength of schedule's got to play more of a factor in this year.
We were at John Frary Sports Now. Let's end with this, and I appreciate you coming on. You were at Jaguars camp yesterday morning. Did you see Travis Hunter, and what did you see so far?
I did. I looked impressive. Now, granted, they didn't have pads on. It was only the third day, but he had a couple of deflections on defense. He played more defense than I thought, Mark, I would see him play. And I think he might play more defense than what maybe we thought back in April. At least I did when he was drafted. But he looked good. The defense looked ahead of the offense to me, what I saw yesterday, and what the guys that have been out there for every training camp session have said is that's been the case to this point. Now, there were highlights on offense. Brian Thomas Jr. stood out to me at wide receiver. Trevor at times looked good. I thought Etienne looked fairly good yesterday at running back. The thing I'm going to be interested in with the Jags, and to me this is going to tell the tale of what happens with them this year, I think at the skill positions they're fine. I think in the secondary they're fine. On defense, line of scrimmage. offensive line and defensive line, which when you don't have pads on, you really can't tell a lot, I'll be honest. So, but they've got to improve there, especially on the offensive line. I mean, we've talked about that for years, Mark. They haven't been able to convert third and fourth and short situations like 4th and 1, 3rd and 2. They haven't protected Trevor Lawrence good enough. And so that has to improve. And then on defense, they've got to improve more on affecting the quarterback on the other side. Other than Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker, we've talked about this ad nauseum too. They just haven't had any other pass rushers. So they've got to get a push in the middle this year and be able to affect that opposing quarterback more often than they've been doing the past few years.
Okay, how hot was it yesterday morning?
It was hot. Now, I was in the shade, so I'll admit that. The Miller Electric Center, where the Jaguars practice, for those that aren't familiar with it, it's pretty nice for the media because you can stay in the shade along the sideline. Now, I went out in the sun some, but it was hot. I felt for the players. I felt for some of the fans, and we're going to have a heat index of 112 up here in Northeast Florida today, and I imagine you're having the same thing down where you're at, so it was hot.
You are not kidding, buddy. It is bad. I was at the movies yesterday. All right, I'm not dumb. His name is John Frary. He's going to join us moving forward this football season. My man, thanks for helping. Have a great day.
Mark, always a pleasure. Can't wait for the actual games, and again, just an exciting time of year coming up.
Yes, that was John Frary. We talked this morning. He's always love talking to John. He is a great dude. And yeah, Sports Now up there in Jacksonville. He's been covering the Gators and the Jaguars for a long, long time. Yeah, Gators, they're going to have, I can't stress this enough. The Gators will have 2 cupcakes. Then it turns into a gauntlet where at LSU, at Miami, Texas at home, then you still have Georgia, Florida State. It goes on and on and on. And yet, Jaguars, I cannot wait to see that Travis Hunter on the field. Offense, defense. We've been talking about it since he got drafted by the Jaguars. How are they going to use him? Just on offense? Just on defense? A little bit of both? Because you can't have it, he'll be on offense and then he'll only get 5 targets a game. No. You put big investment into this guy, multiple draft picks. He's got to be the man. And I want this to be a scenario if you're the Jaguars where you have Trevor Lawrence with that beautiful hair, snaps it. One side, he's got Brian Thomas Jr., who's a stud, and then Travis Hunter in the slot as well. We'll find out. Hey, we want to give a shout out to Walk On Sports Bistreaux right there in Vieira, home of the $5 Tito's and $4 22-ounce Busch Lights. All day, every day at Walk-Ons in Vieira. Also, Chumley Depot in downtown Melbourne, where friends meet. And yes, they're the official sponsor of What's on Tap. And let's tell you what's on tap. Full slate of Major League Baseball. That's it for pretty much actual sports on a Monday. But I will give you some that'll be fun to watch. Monday Night Raw. I know they did. I know they had a little salute on Friday with SmackDown with Hulk Hogan. It'll be interesting to see what they do for tonight with Hulk Hogan talk. We will find out. Rest in peace to the Hulkster. And yeah, Monday Night Raw is for my buddy TJ McMahon, who hates wrestling. That's what's on tap, brought to you by Chumley Depot. Don't forget, they will have karaoke on Tuesday, Comedy Night Wednesday, and Sunday Fun Day all summer long on Sundays. We're also broadcasting live from the Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Take back control of your life. Call them today. 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Anidjar and Levine, Accident Attorneys. Tomorrow, Alan Slaughterzinski, Brevard Sports Network, and Double Deuce high school football coaches Chris Sands and Jeff Panucci. Yeah, O'Galley and Melbourne. Have a great night. Guess what? We'll see you tomorrow right here on the Mark Moses Show.